Hello, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Bryon Howard. 20 years ago, I began my real estate career with Century 21, then Keller Williams, then a couple of small brokerages. And then after 15 years of being with RE/MAX, I made the big decision to move to eXp Realty. Things have never been better. This is a short podcast on why many, just like me, think this model is the future and why you may wish to be part of it. Please enjoy today's podcast. Well, folks, welcome to another edition of why I joined eXp. I joined eXp in February of this year, 2021, and I've been loving it. Today on this show, I have a guest, an old friend who actually contacted me somewhat in error yesterday, as we realtors can do from time to time. Jean Melin from Victoria. Jean, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here, and thanks for inviting me.
Jean, we met in 2017 when you were working with RE/MAX Alliance in Victoria. Can you give a little recollection of meeting me and how we came to connect?
Yeah, I mean, I remember you were in one of the smaller back offices and you were working away very hard. And I tend to be sort of friendly and welcoming and chatty, and just connected with you. And I could tell you were a seasoned realtor, so I wanted to find out what you're up to. And I guess I've been a realtor now for 10 years, but I always like to just chat with friendly folks, and you were one of those friendly folks.
It's interesting. And now here we are both with eXp. So in 2017, that's 4 years ago, actually, I started to try to break into the Victoria market, meaning I was, both my kids were living there, and the market in Calgary was good until 2014. And in 2015, it changed. And I thought I came to Calgary for two reasons. One was for the economy and the Alberta advantage. And the second was the schools for my kids. And in 2015, 16, there was no advantage, Alberta advantage. It was seemingly. And there was, my kids were both done school and living on Vancouver Island. And so I came to Victoria with RE/MAX and was had a RE/MAX office in Calgary and now a RE/MAX office in Victoria, paying double fees and trying to break into that market. I was going a week a month, and I did that I had planned to do it forever until I broke in, but I did it for 7 or 8 months before realizing, well, actually the market in Calgary in 2017 changed and was good. And I had a great year in Calgary, meanwhile, not working really tough, and did nothing in Victoria. But in any case, Jean, tell us a little bit about yourself. It sounds like you've been in real estate for 10 years in Victoria. And tell us a little bit about your career and what led you to eXp and some of the brokerages you've worked for in the last 10 years, and how eXp has been a little bit different for you.
Sure. Started real estate part-time and then eventually went full-time. Started with a small local brokerage in Victoria, Pemberton Homes, and then switched over to RE/MAX Alliance, and then started to hear rumblings of, eXp, and started to hear some of the negatives, what people will say it was multi-level marketing or it's not going to last. And it's like Keller Williams or whatever. And, I've always been a critical thinker. I have a degree in communications. So I learned long ago to be sure to, and I'm going through with my coaching a paradigm shift and realizing that how much we're influenced by what, our colleagues or people may say around us. And that really, it can be just to your disadvantage to not do your own investigations. So I did. And there was a lot of aggressive kind of recruiters, and I could have easily sort of gone, this is kind of spooking me out. But I found some people that I trusted, and I got information from them, and I realized, especially when the pandemic hit, my office locked me out for like 3 months. And when I was talking to colleagues that I trusted about eXp, I'm like, hey, is your office open? And they're like, oh yeah, no, we're here every day. So anyways, I went for lunch with the managing broker, Peter Fan, very nice Dutch man. And I just realized, you know what, I'm just going to make the leap. This is just, it's going to offer me way more tools, like too many that I can't even, take advantage of them all yet. But, certainly the KV core and the CRM and the website and stuff that's included. I just realized it really was the pandemic in the sense that I was like, you know what, it's time to shift. And eXp was so nimble and so able to move to accommodate in that, the early days. They didn't really even have to. They already were. They were in a cloud, right? So was fantastic. And they do have office space here in Victoria, lovely, big, sort of common. So I have places to go work if I want. And no, it's been great. It's been fantastic.
Interesting. And of course, I'm calling you from Calgary. You say they do have office space. Is that like the office space that is like Regis office space? Is that what you're using, or
Yeah.
how?
Yeah. It's Regis and it's in Uptown and it's really big and it's on the fourth floor. It has a great view. So it's a great place to go and work. If you need to, some people need to, I have a home office, so I've been really working from home, but as we're opening up again, I was just in there the other day and yeah, there's people working in there and you can meet clients there. It's great.
Interesting. So far, I personally haven't left where I'm working, actually my home basement walkout office, and certainly in Calgary and all over the world, we have eXp. We have, I think, partnered with Regis offices and have access everywhere. Jean, tell me a little bit about yourself, your situation, your family situation. What do you like to do for fun?
I have 3 children, a wonderful husband, and a dog named Cody. And I've actually recently, during, again, pandemic, I mean, hopefully we won't say pandemic every 3 seconds in the next year or so, but started working out like a fiend. And that's been great just to keep the stress down. Mm-hmm. I'm surrounded by oceans here. I'm on an island, a big island, but just enjoying outdoors, working out, working hard, taking care of the family, and hopefully getting back into hanging out with friends. I'm an odd fellow. Mm-hmm. So that is a fraternal order where we do good work for the community, and we meet kind of twice a month. It'd be something like, the Lions or whatever you might be familiar with. But lots of fun there. We have Robbie Burns dinners and, we have Halloween parties where we raise $25,000. So all of that has been shut down. So I believe in the fall, in September, we'll get back together for the first time in our big hall downtown. So yeah, that's nice. About it, really. Yeah.
How old are your kids? I'm wondering, are they as old as mine? I think you are younger than mine, so likely they're not. They're not in their 20s yet?
No, my son just graduated, so he's 18. And I have twin girls who just turned 13.
Oh, sweet. Wonderful. Yeah. And what about your husband? Is he in real estate as well?
No, we were both in the entertainment industry prior to me getting into real estate. I used to tour with Broadway musicals as a robotic lighting technician. And wow. Yeah, I know. And I worked in the film industry for like 20 years in Vancouver as well, in between Broadway tours in the States. And my husband is an instructor and actually just got promoted to, I believe, general manager at UVic at the Phoenix Theater Department. So he's sort of running those 3 theaters up there and overseeing a large number of employees and stuff. So, yes.
Nice. Very good. And since I'm moving to eXp, I think it's been about a year for you now. How long has it been?
That's and right.
What are you, in terms of your own feeling, how has it changed your life, business, happiness, if any, or any comment on the changes it's made?
Absolutely. I was thinking about that. And it's funny when you work in an office, and maybe you can relate to this. It's just that, there's lots of nice people and the dynamics, but I realized that it was kind of rattling my confidence. And by the time I got to eXp, I realized how much it was and how much it lifted. So we go to weekly meetings, in the world, and you get that download of information of, whatever's going on with your council or things to watch out on. And I find actually that information is ahead because I still have friends who work in, brick and mortar brokerages. And I find that eXp is actually quite further ahead. And it's very, those meetings are they're just full of information as opposed to, the jockeying for, the top, producer of the whatever the month. Mm-hmm. And it kept me more focused. It kept me more focused on how to put my systems in place and the power dynamics of a small office. I didn't have to kind of watch the drama. So that's been great. It's been just way more professional.
Neat.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So like that it sounds like for you, it's kind of the weekly meetings and the information that's given, which personally, I have never yet attended a meeting. So it seems like eXp has something for everyone. And I remember you and meeting you at the office, like you said, how you're that friendly, social bird. I imagine it was like a bit of a challenge for you to move to an organization like eXp, thinking that, well, how am I going to get my sort of office colleague fix? Because you were one of those people in the office, like in like all the offices I've been in, over the last 20 years, you're like actually one of those few people that are actually giving, helpful, interactive, collaborative. And so moving to a cloud brokerage, I could see how that would be a big change and challenge for you. And it doesn't sound like that's been the case.
No, no, not at all. If anything, it's really just freed up my time. There's no more commute time. I just take the 4-minute walk to downstairs to my office, and I've been
Right.
able to really utilize virtual assistants to get more work done while I'm sleeping. They're working, and so that was a connection through eXp, and it's just endless. You can throw up a question on whatever chat, or I can reach out to, who sponsored me, and he's not in my market, and he's a big top producer, and I can bounce stuff off him. He doesn't coach me per se. I have my own coach, but that I realized was just a game changer, is being able to talk to someone who's not going to keep their cards close to their chest, who's going to actually share information willingly and share mistakes and, basically save you time and money.
Interesting. On that note, you mentioned your senior partner who's not in your market, and being a communications, so coming from that background, I imagine you did your research on choosing a senior partner, or did you just happen to go? And how did you happen to choose your partner? Like, why did you end up choosing the partner that you end up choosing?
Well, I was getting from my coaching program, I was getting a lot of, very compelling offers from big producers in the US, in the States. And I just realized, we're so different, those two countries, and the regulations and, the sort of the styles of marketing that maybe they can do more so in the southern states or California. I realized it wasn't going to serve me well. I had to find someone who is at least probably in British Columbia.
Good.
And that's how I landed on my sponsor.
Have you found yourself leaning on them for assistance or help, or do you need to? Or
a couple times I have, because I know that he's done a lot of big developments. Mm-hmm. So I sort of dabbled in that, and I can text him and get a hold of him fairly quickly, and he's And they invited me to their weekly office meetings via Zoom, mm-hmm. and that's been great too. They have some really, really great mindfulness stuff they talk about, as opposed to just classic sales. They're like how to keep your head in the game. So that's been really interesting.
Nice. Jean, I'm just wondering and curious, are you hearing, and are our listeners hearing, the cello rehearsal and practice going on upstairs?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, you are. Okay. Well, I hope it adds to the sound as opposed to detract. That's my wife and playing music with, I think, a rehearsal upstairs. So in terms of your own future, Jean, part of what attracted me to eXp, and again, there's about 5 different strong reasons why anyone should consider it. But for me, after selling real estate for 20 years, I'm kind of really feel like I'm done a little bit the transactional side of the business, but I'm not ready to retire or have the ability. And so I'm interested in mentoring, coaching myself. And I have attracted a few people so far, attracted, or actually using that word, recruited, which I'd like to come back to. How about yourself? Where do you see yourself going with eXp? Obviously, you're in real estate sales. Will you be looking to attract others to join you and not necessarily join you, but join the business in terms of, your junior partners, or any thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Just because, it was challenging the first early years, and then getting into kind of a big expensive brand, fee max, as one would joke. I would love to just, be able to share information about how eXp has kind of just allowed me to get into the headspace of being more confident, as opposed to a brick and mortar office where, it can actually, you could walk in there and after a while realize that it's kind of, sucking your energy. So yeah, absolutely. I'd love to, make sure people understand. I mean, am a critical thinker. I did my research, and I still run into colleagues who are, kind of poo-pooing eXp. And I'm like, I just say, be a critical thinker, do your own research. Because what if you miss out on a great opportunity and you spend years, swimming around the wrong fishbowl?
Exactly. Jean, tell me a little bit what's going on in the Victoria market right now. Here it is, end of July, July 30th, actually, in 2021. What's happening right now in Victoria market, and what do you see happening in the next, say, 12 months to 2 years?
We've got, again, pandemic, there was a lot of mind shift, and our market started to go crazy about 7 months ago. Our inventory is at a 25-year low because lots of sellers said, hey, I'm going to wait till everybody's immunized and whatever, and I'll put my place on the market next year. So we're down about 1,300 units, but demand is through the roof. And it's, like I was out with a Calgary couple yesterday who are looking to retire, looking to invest. Lots of prairie folks, lots of mainland folks wanting to come to the island, wanting to come to southern Vancouver Island to get more space. People can work from anywhere. So a lot of that has really changed. Being able to live anywhere, work anywhere. It's just been a year of helping people find more space and helping people figure out, if they want to retire early or if they want to buy here and hold the property and then retire. It's been very busy. It's been a very busy year for me.
Well, that's excellent. And Jean, coming to an end, I guess a couple of things. We want to use our listeners' time wisely and sort of not be too long. What's the best way for people to reach out to you? And secondly, do you have any ask of our listeners?
Sure. No, the best way is to call or text me. My website is victoriahomeowner.com. Just for if people are thinking about the island, I'm going to help somebody from Toronto look at a surf shack in Port Renfrew later this week. So there's so many endless opportunities that, don't just sit and wonder. Like, definitely give me a call, give me a text. And I say we're the Hawaii of Canada, often. And people, I've lots of people from Alberta asking about, downsizing, maybe working with someone like yourself to get the big house sold and then come into the island to live their best life.
Jean, thanks so much for coming on the show. We'll include contact information with our show notes.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate your time and keep on living it.
All right. You have a great rest of your day. We'll be in touch very soon.
Thanks very much. Hello, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Bryon Howard. 20 years ago, I began my real estate career with Century 21, then Keller Williams, then a couple of small brokerages. And then after 15 years of being with RE/MAX, I made the big decision to move to eXp Realty. Things have never been better. This is a short podcast on why many, just like me, think this model is the future and why you may wish to be part of it. Please enjoy today's podcast.